Welcome back to the Digital Dive, episode 2. We're back to, help guide you through all the noise and zero in on what really matters.
That's right.
So today, we're going to take a look at AI, particularly how it's evolving in China.
Yeah.
You've given us some really fascinating sources that focus on this new player, DeepSeek.
Right.
And how they're shaking things up.
Yeah.
Even for, a huge company like Alibaba.
Well, yeah. I mean, what's really interesting about DeepSeek is just how quickly they've risen. They've really burst onto the scene, and in such a short amount of time, they're already challenging the biggest players in the AI world.
It's really amazing. Their V3 and R1 models.
Right.
They launched just this January.
Yeah.
And people are saying they're already outperforming those models from, the huge companies like OpenAI and Meta.
Exactly.
Which is amazing to think about.
Yeah.
And to put that into perspective, they did this during the Lunar New Year.
Right.
Which is typically a time when business in China really slows down.
Of course, yeah.
So that really says something about their strategy.
It really does. And, it's not just the timing of the launch.
Right.
Think about the fact that they released the R1 model only 10 days after the V3.
Wow.
That speed of innovation is almost unheard of, especially for such a new company.
That is an unbelievable pace. So how has a company like Alibaba, a giant in the Chinese tech world, reacted to this?
Well, they've definitely noticed. Alibaba came back and launched their own new model, the Qwen 2.5-Max. And they say that it's better than anything DeepSeek has.
Okay.
But what I think is really interesting is that they launched this on the very first day of the Lunar New Year. It's almost like a direct response to this pressure that DeepSeek is putting on them.
Yeah, it seems very deliberate. But it's not just performance. They're also disrupting the pricing.
Right.
They're making these models way more affordable than Western competitors.
Absolutely.
It's a fraction of the cost, which has kind of started a price war in China. So, for example, DeepSeek charges like 14 cents per 1 million tokens processed.
Right.
And for our listeners, tokens are basically the building blocks of language that AI models process.
Exactly.
So DeepSeek's pricing is significantly lower than OpenAI or Google.
Right.
And it's making other companies have to change.
Absolutely.
Like Alibaba has cut their prices by as much as 97%.
Yeah.
Which is a lot.
Yeah.
And it makes you think about what kind of ripple effects this could have.
Yeah.
Investors and analysts who are used to these huge budgets for AI projects in the West.
Right.
For companies like Microsoft, Google, they must be paying attention to this.
Oh, they definitely are. There's a growing concern among investors that these big budget AI projects might not be sustainable in the long term.
Right.
DeepSeek's model really makes you question whether pouring billions of dollars into AI development is really the best way to do it.
Yeah, it really is kind of a David versus Goliath story, but in the AI world. And DeepSeek's Impact is going beyond Alibaba. You have another big player, ByteDance, the company behind TikTok. They've also sped up their AI development in response to DeepSeek.
Yeah, and in fact, they recently released an updated AI model that they say actually outperforms OpenAI's GPT-4 in a benchmark test.
Wow.
So you can see how DeepSeek's success is really pushing all these Chinese tech companies to innovate faster.
Yeah, it seems like they're kind of like this catalyst for change.
Exactly.
In the whole industry.
Yeah.
But their focus isn't just on these price wars. They have a really different way of approaching AI development.
That's right.
They're not just trying to get small improvements. They're going for something way more ambitious. Artificial general intelligence, or AGI.
Right. So their goal isn't just to build AI that's faster or cheaper. It's to build machines that can actually think like humans.
Yeah.
That's the holy grail of AI development.
Now, to be clear for our listeners, AGI is not just about a program that can play chess or generate text.
Right.
AGI is about making machines that can understand, learn, and solve problems across a whole bunch of tasks, just like humans.
Exactly. It's about giving machines the same general cognitive abilities as humans.
Right. And DeepSeek thinks that their company structure gives them an advantage in this.
Right.
Their team is really small, mostly young graduates and doctoral students.
Right.
And this allows them to be a lot more agile and have faster development cycles compared to, these huge, slow-moving companies. And that's a really interesting contrast.
Yeah.
And their founder, Niang Wenfeng, has talked a lot about this, saying that their smaller structure is actually a key advantage in a field that's changing so quickly.
Right.
He thinks that big companies, with all their management layers and processes, are actually going to be slower to change.
It's an interesting theory for sure. Larger companies may have more resources, but there's definitely an advantage to being smaller and more focused.
Right.
DeepSeek's structure allows them to adapt to new discoveries and make changes quickly without getting bogged down in bureaucracy.
So it really makes you wonder if DeepSeek Structure gives them a real advantage in this race for AGI. They've chosen to be agile instead of just huge, which really challenges how we think about AI development.
It's really fascinating to see, and it has a lot of people rethinking the old ways of doing things. For years, we've just seen these massive companies put billions into AI, thinking that more money automatically equals faster progress. But DeepSeek is kind of proving that wrong.
Yeah, they've shown that a small, focused team can make these big leaps, even surpassing models built with way bigger budgets. So does this mean we're seeing a bigger shift in the AI world? Could we start to see more of these smaller, more agile players pop up and challenge the big companies?
I think that's definitely a possibility. And it's not just DeepSeek. We're seeing a trend of these smaller, more agile AI companies making big progress. They're attracting top talent and coming up with innovative solutions, often by focusing on specific areas. And this creates a really dynamic and competitive environment that actually benefits everyone and pushes the boundaries of what AI can do.
That's a good point. So this isn't just about DeepSeek versus the big guys. It's about a fundamental change in how AI is being developed and used. But let's bring it back to our listener for a second. Why should they care about this, even if they're not a tech person or an investor?
Well, because the impact of AI goes way beyond just the tech industry. AI is going to change almost every industry, from healthcare and finance to transportation and entertainment. So understanding these trends and the companies driving them is really important for navigating the world of tomorrow.
Think about the stuff you use every day. Your search engines, social media, online shopping.
Right.
AI powers all of that. And these advancements we're talking about are going to change how these tools work and how they impact our lives.
Exactly. The AI revolution isn't just about faster computers or smarter algorithms. It's about a fundamental change in how we interact with the world around us. Understanding the forces at play, from tech advancements to economic shifts, is essential for making informed decisions and creating the future we want.
Now, DeepSeek's lean structure and aggressive pricing have definitely gotten a lot of attention. But there are also potential downsides to think about. Some people argue that relying so much on young talent might mean they don't have enough experience and strategic vision. Others wonder if their focus on speed could come at the expense of really thorough and robust development.
Those are valid concerns. DeepSeek's agility is definitely a strength, but it also comes with risks. Finding that balance between speed and having deep expertise is really important for long-term success, especially in such a complex field like AI.
It's a good reminder that DeepSeek isn't some magic solution. Their approach offers valuable lessons, but it's not a guaranteed formula for success. You have to consider the potential trade-offs and long-term implications, just like any company or investor would.
Exactly. The AI world is constantly changing, and what works today might not work tomorrow. DeepSeeks Rise is a fascinating case study, but it is one chapter in the story of AI. It shows us that we need to keep learning, keep adapting, and be willing to challenge the traditional ways of thinking.
It's clear that DeepSeek has really shaken things up, but they're not the only ones pushing the limits of AI. They've really sparked a wave of innovation and competition, making everyone rethink their strategies. But let's shift gears a bit and dive deeper into DeepSeek's philosophy. They're not just aiming to build better AI, they're going for artificial general intelligence, or AGI.
Right. AGI is this idea of creating AI systems that have the same general cognitive abilities as humans. So it's not just about narrow tasks like playing chess or translating languages. It's about building systems that can learn, adapt, and solve problems across many different areas.
Basically making machines that think and reason like us, the big goal, and one that's been really hard to achieve. So what makes DeepSeek think they can do this when even giants like Google and OpenAI haven't figured it out?
Well, their founder, Liang Wenfeng, says it's their lean structure, focus on rapid iteration, and their unwavering commitment to AGI as their core principle that gives them a special advantage. He doesn't think that throwing a ton of resources at the problem, like others have done, has really worked.
That's a bold statement. But their early success and how quickly they're developing have definitely made people pay attention. They're not just building AI models, they're building a company, a culture, and a research environment totally focused on getting to AGI.
It's a high-risk, high-reward plan. If they pull it off, it could change everything, potentially revolutionizing every aspect of society. But if they fail, they risk becoming just another cautionary tale in this long and often frustrating quest for artificial general intelligence.
It reminds us that AGI isn't a sprint. It's a marathon. There are going to be breakthroughs and setbacks, moments of excitement and moments of disappointment, but the stakes are really high, and the potential payoff is too big to ignore.
Absolutely. The pursuit of AGI is one of the most important scientific and technological goals of our time. It's a journey into the unknown, with huge implications for the future of humanity. And DeepSeek, with its bold vision and unique approach, is one of the most interesting players in this whole endeavor.
It's pretty amazing to see DeepSeek going all in on AGI like this.
Yeah, it's a big gamble for sure.
But they seem so committed to it, like it's at the heart of everything they do.
Right, you can see it everywhere.
Their structure, the fast development, the pricing, it all seems like it's pointed towards that goal.
Yeah.
But how does their founder, Liang Wenfeng, see the path to AGI? Like, what are they actually doing to try to get there?
Well, Liang has said that it's not just about raw computing power.
Okay.
He thinks the key is to understand how human intelligence works.
Interesting.
So they're looking into things like cognitive science, neuroscience, even philosophy, not just computer science.
So it's not just about building, like, bigger, faster networks.
Right.
They're trying to get at the core of what intelligence actually is.
Exactly. And that's a much harder problem to solve.
For sure.
And it needs a different approach, one that brings together people from different fields.
Right.
DeepSeek is working with universities and research groups all over the world,
Wow.
trying to build this network of innovation that goes way beyond their own team.
So they're kind of creating a global AGI movement.
Yeah, exactly.
Bringing in talent and ideas from all over.
Yeah.
That's really interesting, and it could give them a real advantage.
You could.
But even if DeepSeek figures out how to make a general AI,
Right.
what would that even mean? Like, how would that change things?
That's the big question, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, the potential is huge.
Right.
Think about AI that could solve complex scientific problems, develop new medical treatments,
Oh.
or even help us tackle things like climate change.
Yeah.
But there are definitely risks, too.
Oh, absolutely.
Creating AGI raises all sorts of ethical and societal questions.
Like what?
Well, how do we make sure these systems are aligned with human values? How do we prevent them from doing things we don't want them to do?
Yeah, those are big questions.
We need to think carefully about these things and have open conversations about them.
Definitely.
And it can't just be the tech people talking.
Right.
We need policymakers, ethicists, and the public involved, too.
It got to be a collective effort. I think DeepSeek's story is a good reminder that the future of AI is being shaped right now.
Yeah.
And the choices we make today are going to have a big impact down the road.
Absolutely.
We need to be responsible, think ahead, and make sure AI is developed ethically.
I agree.
It's a big challenge that forces us to really think about what kind of future we want.
Yeah.
DeepSeek's goal of AGI is a bold one, and their approach is definitely shaking things up.
For sure.
But whether they succeed or fail won't just depend on the technology.
Right.
It'll depend on how they use that technology to benefit humanity.
That's a great point.
Well, this has been a fascinating look at the world of AI,
It has.
especially in China.
Yeah.
DeepSeek has really changed the game, pushing everyone to rethink their strategies and get serious about AGI.
I have.
Things are changing fast, and I'm sure the next few years will be full of exciting breakthroughs and tough challenges.
I think so, too.
It's a time of uncertainty, but also a time of great opportunity. The future of AI is still being written, and we all have a part to play in shaping it.
I agree.
Thanks for joining us on The Digital Dive.
It's been great being here.